you want to post content online, particularly video, but you don't do it, know you're not alone. There are so many would-be content creators out there who are being stopped by something invisible to them. And since the reasons are unknown, they just blame themselves instead of solving them. There are lots of things that could be at play here. So listen in and see what resonates with you. Some people create content and never post it. Other people get stuck figuring out their niche or planning what to say. But either way, the result is the same. You're not posting, or if some content does make it to the publishing stage, it's not as much as you'd like. Hi, I'm Helen Innes and I help women stop holding back and start speaking up. This video is part of my series, Speaking Up as a Content Creator, where I explore why being visible online can be difficult. Today, I'm going to talk about why you can want to create content and still not actually do it. If you keep telling yourself you just need to learn a bit more before you start, you end up spending your time watching more videos, reading more advice, and looking into things like strategy, hooks, niches, algorithms, and it feels like you're doing the work. And to be fair, you are learning things. Some of it is useful and will help you later, but the actual act of creating and posting isn't happening. So what looks like progress on the surface is actually a way of staying where you are. Learning feels productive, but it's also safe, too safe. You can feel like you're moving forward without taking the risks that actually come from publishing something. While you're learning, no one sees you, so no one judges you, and that's key. Learning in and of itself isn't the problem, but when it replaces doing, it becomes a very effective way of delaying exposure, because as long as you're still figuring things out, you don't have to put anything out there. While you're still learning, or maybe just after, you might get to the stage of planning your videos. If you find yourself taking a long time to plan your video, it may be because planning delays the moment where you actually have to show up. You think about what you could talk about, you try to map it out, your ideas, and you start organizing everything in your head. You might sit down and try to structure it properly, working out what topics you'll cover, what order they should go in, and how you should fit it all together. It feels productive because you're doing something, but you're still in the same position. Nothing has been recorded and nothing has been shared. You're still behind the scenes. And because of that, you never quite reach the point where you actually press record. If you keep going over what you want to say, but can't seem to actually say it, it's usually because you want certainty before you speak. You go back over your ideas, you start questioning them, refining them, and trying to work out the best way to say what you mean. You replay different versions in your head, adjusting the wording, tweaking the angle, and asking yourself whether it's clear enough, whether it sounds right, or whether it even makes sense. And the more you think about it, the less certain you feel. You tell yourself you're just getting clearer, but clarity never arrives because overthinking doesn't move you forward. It keeps you circling. You're still working on it, still refining, and still not actually recording or posting. Overthinking, of course, is closely related to perfectionism because we think a lot to avoid the consequences of imperfection. So let's assume you did hit record to create your social media content, but now you feel it's not quite ready for posting. Maybe you don't like your presentation and you need to record again. Maybe you need to rewrite a script and then re-record. Or perhaps it needs more editing. You tell yourself you're just improving it, but you keep doing it. And the goalposts of what's acceptable keep moving further away. You want everything to be perfect to avoid sounding awkward, being misunderstood, or putting something out there that doesn't seem to fully represent you. So you stay in this loop of refining, always close to posting but never quite there. Perfectionism feels like you're being responsible, like you have standards, but what it actually does is delay the moment where anything actually gets seen, because it has to be right before it's shared. Often you hesitate to post content because you're thinking about what other people will think when they see it. You ask, will I sound stupid? Will I come across awkward? Will people think I don't know what I'm talking about? And it's not just strangers or your prospective clients, it's people you know. Friends, old colleagues, family. You start thinking about being misunderstood and judged in ways you can't control. And because you can't actually manage how other people perceive you, it prevents you from being fully ready to step forward. If you're holding back from posting online because you're not good at it yet, you know other people will be able to see that. As a beginner, you may say what you want to say, but your delivery feels a bit clunky. The video doesn't come out the way you hoped. Unlike other skills, creating social media videos isn't something you get to practice privately. You're learning in public. So instead of just being new at something, you're visibly new. And for a lot of women over 40, that can feel uncomfortable. By this age, you can feel competent at doing most of the things you do regularly. But this is not only public, it shows off an area where you're not competent, and that makes you hesitate. If you're worried you'll post something online and no one will care, it's because you can imagine what that silence will feel like. You see yourself posting something and nothing happens. By which I mean very few views and no real response. Basically, you're posting into the void. All that effort for nothing. When people first start thinking about whether they could post publicly, they think that the problem is going to be dealing with negative comments. But when reality sets in, you realize that's a later problem. You've got to be seen for someone to troll you. When your post is ignored, it can feel like no one cares. When there is no response, your mind makes up stories to fill in the gap. Silence is interpreted to mean, my content is off, it's not interesting, I can't present myself well, people don't want to listen to me. So instead of risking that feeling again, you stop putting things out. If creating content doesn't feel like you, it feels like something other people do, but not you, that isn't because you can't do it. It is because being a content creator clashes with the version of you that you've been for years. You might have spent most of your life being private, not drawing attention to yourself, and shying away from the spotlight. So creating content can feel like stepping outside of an unwritten rule. You might catch yourself saying, "Who do I think I am doing this?" Because making content isn't just sharing ideas, it's putting yourself out there for everyone to see, becoming visible to potentially anyone. So the hesitation isn't just about what to say, it's about whether you're allowed to be, or even can be, a different version of yourself. So being on camera actually involves shifting your identity, your own perception of yourself. If your goal is to create content, but you spend your time learning, planning, overthinking, and trying to get everything perfect, you never actually build momentum. And without momentum, nothing moves forward. If you post nothing at all, you get frustrated with yourself. You become the person always preparing but never doing. If you manage to post a little bit, you don't really improve because you're not creating enough to learn what works and what doesn't. The platform doesn't pick up your content because there isn't enough consistency for it to understand who it should show it to. And the audience you're trying to reach never really gets a chance to find you because you're not visible enough. So even though you're putting time and energy into this, it doesn't translate into progress, so things don't get a chance to really take off. And after a while, that starts to affect how you see yourself. Without momentum, nothing builds, nothing compounds, and nothing changes. So the real consequence isn't just that you don't post, it's that you never give yourself the chance to build something that actually could work. If you're in the position where you want to create content, but you're still not actually doing it, it's not a character flaw, it's because something about posting feels risky. Once something is out there, you can't control how it's received. People can ignore it, misunderstand it, judge it, or form opinions about you based on it. So when you hold back, it's generally not because of the content, but about being seen, and you're responding to that risk. If posting feels like something you need to feel ready for, you'll keep waiting. The risk will never disappear. You can't control the outcome. That feeling of knowing you can do it and handle it comes after you've done it enough times that it feels normal. So the shift isn't about figuring everything out before you start. It's about being willing to show up before it feels comfortable. Over time, you start to see that nothing terrible happens when you're seen imperfectly. This topic is very close to my own heart because I delayed starting my own business because I didn't feel ready to get on camera. Last year, I spent a lot of time writing songs to get over blocks in my own life, and many of them related to finding my own voice. If this video resonates with you, I suggest you check out my song, I'm Ready Now. I'll pop a link below. There's also one more piece that I haven't gone into in this video, and it's the feeling that the whole space, by which I mean social media, isn't really meant for you. Like it's a younger person's world. If you feel like you don't belong, of course you're going to hesitate to show up. So if that part resonates with you, watch the video next where I break that down.